Hi guys, so I'm Cyril this side, and today we will be starting one of the greatest design video that I have designed. Is all about rate limiting. So what is rate limiting? Why we need rate limiting in our APIs? Which are the current most famous vendors that like Twitter and Google, which are being using this rate limiting design? And what about if I wanted to have a rate design rate limiting kind of parameter for my APIs, for especially my REST APIs? So let's go walk through during this system design process. Before starting the video, this is video that I have prepared after doing a lot of analysis. Any suggestions and feedbacks are always most welcome. I am there on YouTube, on LinkedIn, so any feedback from you is being really appreciated. That's how we share the knowledge. So let's begin with rate limiting design. uh, I don't want to make this topic a bore, so let me tell you what happens. That today in these words we are working on REST APIs, and there are so many clients that are calling our APIs. It may be an IoT client, it may be a desktop client, it may be mobile client. So n number of clients are there, and they're making call to our APIs, but somehow we wanted to restrict them, not only because they are different type of clients. It may be the another scenario. Let's suppose that if we have started our services, there are two types of persons. Maybe a few of them have purchased our services, so we don't want to put some restriction or barrier on them, but there are some kind of users which are free users, so we wanted to restrict them, that they can only hit a number of count to our APIs. Let's suppose in a day only 10 times, and if they hit, then we may be coming up with a error code like 429 saying that there are too many requests are coming up, and then we will categorize that you are a free kind of you haven't purchased our services, so we are restricting to you. So that is as per the business. So as shown is here is that what is rate limiter. So I just won't go with all the details because you can go through it. I will be sharing the same, but the way that I told you to restrict the number of requests that we are getting in within a period of time, we can also have a word called throttling, so I will come up later on that. But till the time, rate limiter is being designed to restrict the count of or the number of times the request is coming, because we never know why the requests are coming. It may be some, maybe intentionally, maybe has created, maybe some DDoS attacks are there, so we restrict now. So as I told, that it's a process that is used to define the rate and speed at which consumer can access the APIs. Okay, these days a lot of reactive things have come up where we have a say that we put up a back pressure when consumer doesn't able to subscribe the rate to the producer. But I'm not going to the reactive word right now. I'm just saying that's a process to define the rate so that we don't get a burst of traffic. So another word that come in this process is throttling. So I will be coming up in my next slide is about what are the different categories of throttlings that are being there. But till the time, throttling is a process. It's just a process or a terminology that we say that you have to only request the number of times during a period of time. So it's defined on API level also and application level also, and when throttle limit is crossed, so it returns too many requests. Now second thing is that which are the vendors, or which are the biggest shots that are using this rate limiting API. So the screenshot that I have presented here is of I would say is of Twitter, which itself says for it different endpoints, because they have given you kind of a developer Twitter where you can interact with their APIs, but although they have made sure that they are getting the limited quota for the users. Okay, so that is called limitation. You can say API rate limitation or API rate throttling also, so that you can only hit us in an hour, in a minute, in a seconds, in a day. So we used to say that it's used to define on a specific interval. Okay, so coming up to this is that why this rate limitation is being required, because on the system design interviews that you are giving up, you have defined, or you have somebody ask you that what is rate limiting and of an API, or rate limiter of an API, how do you design? But the question comes is that why even it is required when you are designing it. So I will say that it is designed to give a maximum performance of your servers, or your, in fact I have used a broader term, I would have seen of your APIs, because this can help you out in many of the ways. I told you one is the malicious attacks or DDoS attacks. Sometimes it happens that in a monolith application that you have your services up. There are two clients, but one client is constantly engaged, one endpoint it may have stuck up in loop, and it has created a starvation, kind of a starvation, okay, for the other client. So this impacted sometime response time. So here I am showing a rate limited. Just forget about algorithm, just I am saying you that I am showing you just small example. I'm showing you a small example where I have make sure that we were getting some number of requests between 12 hours to 12:01, but once we have said that we wanted to put up a rate and limiting enabling design, so we'll only going to accept only 2 requests. So the green color parameter is being accepted and the red one are the rejected. Okay, so let's forget about any algorithm. This is just about a rate limiting that we are going to design. Second thing is that continuing to our previous discussion, I told you that any kind of misbehaving that is being happening intentionally or intentionally, security, because these days 2FA is being coming up where one passcode is sent to mobile and another is on one passcode is sent on email and another is on mobile to have double factor authentication. So users are allowed to perform. Then sometimes users have crossed these limits of 2FAs, then we are not allowing them for a period of time, or depending upon what kind of algorithm is there. So in that case is also beneficial. Third is in terms of revenue, where certain services might want to limit their operations depending upon the category of customer, paid or free, and they generate a certain amount of revenue based on these limitings. So if user has to if a particular user know that he has done some kind of analytics that okay, this much amount of traffic, or are we going expanding and we are hitting more requests, so now you have to purchase a higher plan. So and last one is to keep cost and resources. Like service is generally designed for input behavior. If user is writing a single post, then he can easily push 1000 seconds through an API. He could easily push those things. So rate limiter enables a particular individual users that we are discussing from the very beginning itself. Now if you have to design the main objective of our rate limiting API is that we wanted to design these kind of systems. So what are their functional? Because we know there are some functional requirements that comes with the basic requirements, and then there are some non-functional requirements: scalability, availability, fault tolerance, all these things. So functional requirements, we know that when we are designing it, we know we wanted to limit the number of requests to an entity per second, and then also we wanted to make sure that these API are accessible through the cluster, because of the security perspectives nobody can access them, or even if we are going access outside them, we can have some kind of JWT or auto kind of these security mechanisms, okay, where we were passing some JWT token or some security API key. But that's again deviating with the topic. The point is that what are the functional requirements? It's limiting security. User should get error message whenever the threshold has crossed for a particular API. But non-functional obviously mostly comes highly available, fault tolerant, should always work, should be scalable, should not introduce any latencies in accessing an APIs. Otherwise there is no benefit of putting up rate limiter design pattern. So apart from this requirement goals we have come up, okay, but again sorry to come back to move you again back to throttling, because this is required before discussing an algorithms. Throttling that we have discussed is just it's a way of limiting so that we don't receive the bubble, a burst of within a time span of time of too many requests. Throttling is also being categorized into very different categories. Talking to first is hard throttling, where we say that we have decided and we put up in some configuration that it should not received or exceeds that throttle limit. Soft throttling, we say ki okay, we have decided that there will be a window of 30 minutes and we are going to accept 100 messages within a minute. So we say that we have a rate limit of 100 messages in a minute, and if 10% of that exceeds within a window, so our rate limiter will allow to adjust those 10 messages, making a count of 100 plus 10 to 110 messages per minute. So it's a soft throttling, means you are not very harsh or rude, that only you are going to accept this much messages. But again, let me see that there comes one more way of throttling, that is we say elastic or dynamic throttling. So for the above and the third, means for the soft and elastic dynamic throttlings, we have some algorithms on which we decide to reach out this, whether we want to consume or not. Elastic and dynamic throttling is something is that if your request is going beyond to the threshold, and if a user is allowed to same rate limit of 100 messages in a minute, and we see that more than 100 is coming up, then it's not like the above one that we always adjust them. It's like that we'll decide first whether our resources were available during that period of time or not. So that matters. Okay, now the question comes, the next question comes on algorithms. There are a lot of algorithms, but primarily I will be discussing the first three algorithms, because I believe that most of this popularity that have gained is on fixed three types of algorithm. First one, which is you can see, is a fixed window algorithm. Second is fixed sliding window algorithm, and third is leaky bucket algorithm. So let's start. Now this is the main area where we are starting putting up the rate limiting. So fixed, if I start with the very first, with the fixed window algorithm, so it's like that we have decided, we have created a bucket where we say that we are going to accept this much request within that time period. How we used to do is that we used to store a user ID, a key value pair where we store a key is a user ID, and maintain a counter where we used to keep a count. If the counter crosses to a certain threshold which we have decided, then we not allow that request. So we are maintaining a user ID and a counter sort of key value pair. Maybe you can go for hash map, or you can go for Redis, because Redis is an in-memory cache, so that may be the fastest, I would suggest. So this is a very rudimentary way of tackling the rate limiting problem, that I am telling you. There is a one bucket with a window, and each window contains a number of requests that is going to accept. Very small examples that I have given you the demo, where I am saying that time starting from 12 to 1 to 2, an hour basis, we say that we are going to accept the request. So it has reached to 7, it has reached to 8. Okay, the next request comes at 140, so new requests are coming up 140. So it's that we are accepting is because we are accepting 10 requests per hour, and then the new request is coming up somehow at 145, which is totally not acceptable. So we say that okay, the new request is coming up, our counter was 8, but after that the request is coming up, so we are not going to accept it. Okay, so the request which comes at 140, that is accepted, but that is otherwise the last 145, it has already crossed the threshold. If you're not able to understand this with the diagram, let's study it with this algorithm also. Let me know if, because some people wanted to go the theoretical process along with the diagram. So let's suppose if we allow 100 requests in an hour that I was showing you in the previous diagram. So if one request come for user 1, key value pair here we are maintaining, here we are maintaining the timestamps and the counter. So it started with a 0, 7, and at the 7:59 we will be able to serve the 100 request. Okay, now problem after this, we won't cross the limits, but problem with this is that it's two mode load comes at the edge time of the window. It might happen that 12:59 a lot of requests may come up. Okay, or maybe after 12:50 a lot of requests may come up, which is not as much as same as you were receiving in the previous time frame. Okay, so problem that is they are telling that too much problem with this approach is that sometimes too much load comes on edge times of the windows, and with what that service overuse that particular slot because it has already crossed the earlier slot limit, so it is just staying at a 20% of slot limit, and we can say that consistency means the entire consistency that we can use or distribute it is disrupted. He means to say that a lot of requests coming up last 50 minutes, which was not that the rate which it was coming up earlier. Okay, so this is one of the problem that is coming up. It space complexity of fixed window algorithm is O1, order of 1, and time complexity is also order of 1. Pros and cons,
that I believe in fixed window algorithm, it's easy to implement, less memory footprint it causes, and it can be built concurrently. That I used to storing with Redis like technologies, maybe Memcache you can use. Problems again at too much request coming up at at the corner edges, so consistency suffers a lot. One more thing that I'm moving you is to the second, is called sliding window logs algorithm. So what happens that we maintained a list, and in that list we maintain some timestamp values. Okay, so again the principle is same, a key, but with the key with the value is a kind of a list. With the list we maintain the different timestamps the value have been received, and within timestamps we check for the last minute, and we delete earlier timestamps value, and then the basis of that we decide that what is the rate limit we have achieved. So I know it's a bit complicated, but I will make you very smaller for you. Let's start first by looking into this, that for every user a queue of timestamp at which all the historicals have been occurred is being maintained. So for like this sliding window logs, okay, I will show you out for that is, please try to focus it on that every user a queue of timestamp is maintained against a key ID. Okay, whenever a new request occur, check is made of the timestamps, and then windows are deleted as they are no longer relevant, which I was telling you. The new timestamp is appended to the queue, and the number of element in the queue is not more than allowed to the count. That number of timestamps which we have filtered out, which we have deleted out, the previous which we are not required, and the current one based on the condition, and then all those timestamps are being put up in the queue. Okay, and if the number of elements of those lists are more than that which is not allowed in queue, then we'll let them go and we raise the exception. Okay, so let me show you with the first example, and then we will come upon the space and the time complexity. So let's see, this is the request. Sorry, a lot of request has been coming up. So let's suppose that we wanted to limit 100 requests per an hour, and assume that there are 84 requests have been come up. So here we can see that 84 requests have been coming up between 12 to 1. Okay, so we are in an hour of a window, we can say 12 to 1, but 36 requests come between 1 to 2, and which started just 15 minutes before. So you can say, but that is especially from here. Okay, between 12 to 1 it has started just you can say around 12:45, 36 requests have come, but since they lie in the category window of 1 to 10, so it means that they started just 15 minutes earlier. 15 minutes earlier they started. Okay, now it becomes a cumbersome for us whether we should allow those 15 requests, because the request of them had started just within the time frame which we have earlier decided out. Okay, so we any imagine a new request come at 1:15 to decide whether we should accept it or not, because they have started out earlier between 12:45. So we have some kind of algorithm where we say that we have a request, we are going to accept 100 requests per hour, but 84 have come up earlier. Okay, as you can see in this sliding window, 84 requests have come up earlier. Out of that, 60 seconds were there. 15 requests have come up, started at a very corner edge where it was going to close, that window was going to close, divided by the 60 seconds because it's a 1 hour, and total 36 requests have come up in that category. So this is just a general formula, and we derive the rate, which is, we say 99, it is less than 100, then only we are going to accept this request, because if it is 100 less than 100, we say that 100 is raised the rate limit of us. So this is just a formula. You have to be very patient, sit down at a silence place and have to study this. I will be sharing the same, the algorithm which will say. So the request window was from 12:15 to 1:15, a 99 request which is less than our limit of 100, which will be accepted, but any new request after that period or the next second period of will not be rejected. Okay, so keep studying this. 12 to 1 was a time frame. Sliding window starts from 12 to 1:15, in which at a corner cases 36 requests come somewhere around 12:45. Okay, so this is rate limit window. Sliding window starts from 12 to 1:15, and on the basis of this formula we derived, if it is less than 100, then we are going to accept this request. So algorithms, it's constant raise, it's not true, it spikes, it brings a lot of spikes during a minute. So I say that there are complications of sliding window algorithms. Third window called a leaky bucket. It's like a bucket which has got filled, and if you try to put more water into it, it will flow away, it will flow on the sideways. That water will not be get stored into that bucket. that entire content, when the bucket is full, it's filled with the water, and you are again trying to put water inside it, by opening a tap or something like this, the water will never go into that bucket. It will start flowing on both the sideways, and it is a completely waste. So it's just like a simple formula. It's a simple algorithm where we wanted to implement a rate limiter. It used in a bucket or queue and all those concepts. Whenever new request, it is maintaining a kind of a queue, a rear of the queue, until the queue is not full. So if, as you can see in the diagram, if request 1 comes, it get accepted, 2, 3, it get accepted, queue is full, and now 4 and 5, they are just flowing the sideways because the queue is full. And once the request 1 is get processed, and space will become 2 and 3 shift, 2 and 3 will shift downwards, and 3 will get empty, and then again any more requests come like 7 or 8, it looks at it as a space, so it will get adjusted, and whichever is being not adjusted will go on a waste on a sideways. So the requests are processed on fixed time intervals on FCS manner, and the old request to be one executed, which is a property, and if the queue is full, the remainings are dropped and leaked. So that is why it is called leaky bucket algorithm. Let me come out with the advantages. It smoothens the burst request processing and them at a constant rate. It's easy to implement. Size of queue is, it will be always the constant, so memory efficient, which we are looking up. Disadvantage is, no variety of requests will be processed in fixed amount of time, or burst of traffic is being it becomes can fill up the queue with old request, and the new request might starve because burst of traffic is coming up. Old requests are coming a lot of time, again and again and again, so it makes the new request to starve. So guys, this is just some few of the algorithms that I wanted to discuss with you. And yeah, I will be coming up with a lot of videos on system design, so keep supporting me, subscribe my YouTube channels, and maybe coming up with the next design pattern, so that it will be helpful for you to give answers during the system design. So I just wanted to say thanks a lot.